Why do reboots exist? I mean, most of the time the reboot likes to make pointless changes, and sometimes that can even ruin the show. Take a look at this screenshot. If I didn't know any better, I would swear this came from the Donkey Kong Country cartoon. But no, in fact it came from the Shaolin Showdown reboot. Because instead of having fluid 2D animation, like a fight/action scene requires, we get this awful CGI animation that looks like it was something Video Brinquedo made. Don't get me wrong, there can be good reboots, and sometimes they can even be better than the original. Like Friendship is Magic. Because yes, even at its worst, I would much rather watch FIM than G3 MLP. That is a good transition into the show we are talking about today, which came out very recently as one of the best examples of a good reboot, DuckTales 2017. I expected the show to be trash, like one of the worst shows I've ever seen, and just very insulting to the original. Take a look at the recent reboots I had to compare it to. Powerpuff Girls 2016, Ben 10 2016, Be Cool Scooby-Doo, The Magic School Bus reboot, and countless others. Wait, but this is Disney XD I'm talking about. Once again, Shaolin Chronicles. It's safe to say I was surprised whenever I watched this show, and it turned out to be one of my favorite cartoons of the decade. This is pure fact that all it takes is a little effort, and not only can you make a reboot good, but you can even make it great. Today we will be talking about an episode of the show, but much like my Lava Lake Beach review, we will be focused on a certain character.
You get stuck with all the bad luck, no one but Donald Duck.
This is with hands down my favorite incarnation of Donald Duck. He is just so sympathetic here that you actually do feel really bad for him. He is never greedy here, but he is always looking after his nephews Huey, Dewey, and Louie. By the way, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the twins. This is also my favorite incarnation of them, mostly for the fact that they have very different personalities and, well, voices, that telling them apart has finally become very easy. Huey is the red one, who is most like a Boy Scout and the smartest of the bunch. Dewey is blue and is very into adventure and risk-taking, but most importantly wants the love and trust of Scrooge McDuck. Louie is the green and the laziest one, but for the most part he comes off as a supporting character. Yeah, if I had one complaint about the show, it would be him. Not because of his character, that is fine, but because he doesn't receive enough screen time in order to get the development needed. The Great Dime Chase and this episode is really the only episodes I can remember him being the main focus. Anyway, on to the episode. Now, I could have chose the last episode, which features Twilight Sparkle and Fluttershy wanting to drown our cast, but I decided to go with the episode where Donald's cousin is Mr. Peanut Butter. And no, I'm not joking, he is literally Mr. Peanut Butter. Same voice, same character, the only thing different is he's a duck instead of a dog. Obviously, he kinda sucks as a cousin. It's a good thing he's the antagonist of the episode, right? Well, one of them, but I'll get to the other one later. With this being a 20-minute show, a lot happens, so for the sake of pacing, we're only going to be talking about the A-plot. The episode starts out with our cast in a plane because they have received a help letter from Gladstone. As we can see, the twins, especially Louie, really looks up to Gladstone, calling him his favorite uncle. This makes Huey feel bad for Donald. Although he isn't in the rest of the plot, it is still very important foreshadowing. Think about it. Donald has been raising Louie and the others for his entire life. For him to actually ignore Donald and think he is lame, I know that this comes off to the fact of he's sort of lame, out of touch father figure who never likes to take risks. But at the end of the day, he is only cautious to keep the boys safe. In the first episode, he is even cautious of Scrooge McDuck, which makes sense knowing his adventurous past. But here's the things, though. Scrooge McDuck hates Gladstone as well. Basically, he's a freeloader who had everything handed to him because of good luck, which, as I mentioned before, is the exact opposite of Donald Duck. The two of them try many gambling games around the casino, but whenever Gladstone plays, he wins. However, whenever Donald plays, he always loses, to the point of one time breaking a machine and thinking a guy was holding up 27 fingers. No matter what, Donald is always being shit-on by the world around him. However, he never actually gives up. I mean, he definitely gives up his calm attitude, but let's just ignore that. As Louis will soon find out, Gladstone doesn't care about him, but only himself. Because remember that help letter at the beginning? Yeah, that was the reason why he wanted them there. Apparently, he wanted to prove that Donald was more lucky than him, but of course, that didn't work out. So, what it was is Gladstone was a prisoner to the casino owner because the casino owner was basically a spirit that fed off of good luck. Whenever the casino owner wants them all as prisoners, Scrooge McDuck wants to challenge him. The casino owner agrees and he chooses a race. If Scrooge wins, they will all be set free, but if he wins, then they all stay. Gladstone represents the casino owner, and Donald is chosen by the casino owner to represent Scrooge. Gladstone makes it through unscathed, but literally everything hits Donald. In the end, whenever Donald finally gives up, he actually gained Louis' respect, who gives him a motivational speech, which actually helps Donald win the race. What seems like a happy ending is suddenly turned sour as the casino owner decides to keep Gladstone as a prisoner. Scrooge makes the point that Donald is now the luckiest man, that he is the one that the casino owner wants. He falls for this trick, which sucks his life away due to Donald's bad luck. We end on a pretty good note, knowing that Donald has earned the love and actually has a nice moment.